The wind whispers across a valley of death. 1,000 years of silence cannot erase the echoes of that final, blood-red dawn. Before you lie the remnants of a forgotten age, shattered shields, broken bladis, and the dust of warriors who fell where they stood. Crows circle overhead, a living shadow on a canvas of massacre. On a high cliff, silhouetted against the crimson sun, a lone figure stands watch, his cape billows in the wind, his sword still stained with the memory of battle. Elsewhere, in the smoldering heart of what was once a great city, a library burns. Priceless knowledge turns to ash as soldiers tear through history itself. Amidst the chaos and the screams, one scroll survives, untouched by the flames, glowing with an unnatural light. This is the forbidden text, the keeper of a truth buried for a millennium. As we draw closer, the ancient script ignites, and the story of the lost kingdom of Arovia finally begins. 1,000 years ago, Arovia was a jewel of a kingdom. Its stone towers kissed the clouds, its markets bustled with life and laughter, and its people were safe. Their protectors were masters of the sword, warriors who practiced the legendary twin-blade technique, a dance of steel so precise it seemed almost magical. Peace was their creed, prosperity their way of life. But peace is a fragile thing. From the frozen north, a storm was gathering. The Vecran army, a horde clad in dark, imposing armor, descended from the snowy mountains. Their reputation preceded them, carried on the chilling beat of war drums. They were known for their brutality, for the terror they sowed, and for their feared iron hook execution, a fate worse than a swift death on the battlefield. They were not conquerors. They were a plague. The first blow fell upon Arovia's border villages. The tranquil countryside erupted into a nightmare of fire and screams. Homes that had stood for generations were reduced to embers in moments. Warriors, brave but outnumbered, fought desperately to defend their families against the relentless tide of black iron. The air filled with the cries of the innocent and the clang of steel, a horrifying symphony of chaos and destruction. Arovia, the peaceful kingdom, had tasted war. In response to the invasion, the Arovian Council convened. They knew their twin-blade technique, while deadly in single combat, was not enough to halt an army. They needed a new strategy, a wall of steel to break the Vecran wave. From the minds of their greatest generals, the tri-point sword formation was born. A perfect triangle of interlocking shields, shining like a constellation on the battlefield, with swords striking out in synchronized, deadly precision. It was Arovia's shield and its spear, a testament to their discipline and their will to survive. The two armies finally met in a valley that would forever bear the name of the blood spilled there, the Battle of the Blood Valley. Imagine the scene. Thousands of soldiers on each side, a sea of humanity and steel. The ground trembled as the Vecran horde charged, their roar of physical force. The Arovians held their ground, silent, disciplined, their tri-point formation an unbreachable fortress. Then, the collision. The sound was deafening, a cataclysm of clashing swords, splintering shields, and guttural war cries. We see it all in breathtaking detail. A slow-motion shot of two blades sparking as they meet, a dust storm kicked up by 1,000 charging feet, a brutal close-up of a warrior parrying a strike, his eyes filled with grim determination. We witness sword techniques never seen before the fluid. Two-handed strikes of the Arovians against the savage, powerful blows of the Vik. The battle raged for hours, a whirlwind of intense, personal combat, where every second was a fight for survival. The Arovians fought with the heart of lions. Their formation held, repelling charge after charge. The Vecrans, for all their ferocity, could not break them. The valley floor became a grim tapestry of the fallen, and it seemed as though Arovia might just defy the odds and push back the darkness. They were winning, but a fortress is only as strong as its walls, and a kingdom is only as strong as its loyalty. The greatest battles are not always won with swords. The fatal blow came not from the front, but from within. Arovia didn't fall on the battlefield. It was poisoned from the inside. We are taken away from the din of war, into the silent, shadowy corridors of the royal palace. There, we see the king's most trusted advisor, a man who had sworn an oath to protect the kingdom, secretly meeting a Vecran spy. In the dim torchlight, A pact is sealed with the exchange of a map detailing secret passages, guard rotations, and the palace's hidden vulnerabilities. Arovia's fate was signed away, not with a sword, but with a whisper. Betrayal, the sharpest blade of all. What followed was the night of screams, under the cloak of darkness, using the secret paths provided by the traitor. The Vecran army swarmed into the city. The element of surprise was absolute. Chaos erupted. The sacred temples, once places of peace, were set ablaze, their spires becoming beacons of destruction. Panicked citizens ran through the streets as warriors, caught off guard, were ambushed and slaughtered in their own halls. Children hid, women cried, and the sounds of fighting echoed through the once serene palace. We see brutal sword fights in the grand halls, the flickering flames of burning tapestries reflecting off the steel of broken shields and dying eyes. Through this inferno of treachery and death, one warrior fights on. It is the lone warrior from our vision on the cliff, a captain of the royal guard. We see his face, caked in dust and streaked with blood, his expression a mask of grief and unrelenting fury. He's the last bastion of Arovia's honor. He fights with the strength of 10 men, his twin blades a blur of motion, cutting down enemy after enemy. He is surrounded, hopelessly outnumbered, but he refuses to flee. He fights for his fallen king, for his murdered family, for the memory of the kingdom he loved. One of his swords breaks, but his spirit does not. He is the last echo of Arovia's courage. As the sun rises, it reveals not a kingdom, but a graveyard. The fires have died down, replaced by a cold, heavy rain that falls on the ruins. The rain washes the blood from the stones, but it cannot wash away the stain of betrayal. The lone warrior stands amidst the devastation, the last survivor of a noble line, a ghost in his own home. The glowing scroll slowly rolls shut, its story told, its light fading back into the parchment. A voice, ancient and sorrowful, echoes through the silence. Arovia did not fall to the sword. It fell to a lie. Its walls were not broken by siege engines. They were opened by a traitor's hand. The greatest empires are not conquered. They rot from within. The camera pulls back, showing the full scale of the destroyed kingdom, a scar upon the land, before it all fades slowly, inexorably, into darkness, leaving only the memory of a story that was never meant to be told. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more stories from the lost pages of history, make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.